Picture this. You're standing at the edge of oblivion itself. Earth bleeds as species vanish into the abyss. 1 in 5 creatures teetering on extinction's razor edge. By century's end? Half of all life. Gone. Forever. Or so we thought. What if I told you that death isn't the final curtain? That somewhere in the shadows of science, brilliant minds are orchestrating the impossible, resurrecting the dead, breathing life back into extinction's victims. Today, we venture into the realm where science fiction bleeds into reality, where ghosts of the past might soon walk among us once more. Welcome to the Age of Resurrection. Chapter 1. The Frozen Giants. The woolly mammoth. Deep in Siberia's frozen heart lies a secret. Mammoth tombs preserved in nature's own cryogenic chambers. 6-ton titans with tusks like ancient spears and coats that conquered ice ages. These weren't just animals. They were architects of entire ecosystems, engineering the legendary mammoth steppe that stretched across continents. When they vanished 4,000 years ago on that remote Arctic island, they took their world with them. But here's where it gets chilling. Scientists have found them. Perfectly preserved, frozen sentinels holding the keys to their own resurrection within their ancient cells. Enter CRISPR, the molecular scalpel that can slice and splice the very fabric of life itself. By weaving mammoth DNA into Asian elephant genomes, researchers are crafting something unprecedented. A mammophant. Not quite mammoth, not quite elephant, but something extraordinary. Harvard's George Church whispers of live mammoths within years. The permafrost is melting, releasing ancient carbon into our dying atmosphere. But what if these resurrected giants could heal the very wounds their absence created? The frozen north awaits its rightful ruler's return. Chapter 2. The Striped Shadow. The Thylacine. September 7, 1939. A male thylacine, the last of his kind, dies alone in a Tasmanian zoo, locked out in the cold. With his final breath, an entire species vanishes into legend. But legends have a way of returning. The wolf-headed, tiger-striped phantom of Tasmania holds secrets in museums worldwide. Most specimens are mere bones and pelts, ghosts of genetic material. Yet 13 preserved pups, frozen in time within ethanol tombs, may hold the key to undoing extinction itself. In 2017, scientists cracked the code. The complete thylacine genome lay bare, a blueprint for resurrection. Unlike the mammoth's distant elephant cousins, the thylacine stands alone. No living relative exists to serve as host. Yet researcher Andrew Pask achieved the impossible, making thylacine DNA function within living mouse embryos. The dead, speaking through the living. Mike Archer's team went further, actually cloning embryos of extinct species. The boundary between life and death grows thinner with each breakthrough. The striped shadow may yet prowl Tasmania's forests once more. Chapter 3. The Fool's Resurrection. The dodo. Gone the way of the dodo. A phrase that haunts every extinction. This ungainly, flightless bird became the poster child for humanity's destructive touch. 50 pounds of blue-gray feathers, tiny useless wings, and supposedly stupidity. But the dodo wasn't stupid. It was simply unprepared for humanity's hunger. Within 75 years of Portuguese sailors reaching Mauritius, the dodo was extinct. Invasive species devoured their eggs, stole their food, transformed paradise into a graveyard. Here's the twist that changes everything. Beth Shapiro cracked the dodo's genetic secrets in 2016, using its closest living relative, the Nicobar pigeon, as a Rosetta Stone. The dodo's complete genome now exists, waiting to be reborn. Mauritius itself has transformed from extinction's epicenter into conservation's crucible. Scientists propose genetic warfare against invasive mammals. engineering them to breed themselves into oblivion through sex-biasing genes. The fool's bird may yet have the last laugh. Chapter 4. The Colossal Birds. The moa. Imagine birds that touch the sky. 12 feet of feathered giant weighing over 500 pounds. The moa weren't just large, they were living monuments that shaped New Zealand's very landscape. Then came the Maori, and within centuries, these titans fell silent forever. But Harvard scientists have achieved something miraculous. From a single toe bone, they've reconstructed the little bush moa's entire genetic blueprint. 4 feet tall, 66 pounds of pure prehistoric power, heavier than a husky, lighter than its colossal cousins. The revelation: moas share blood with creatures still walking among us, kiwis, emus, cassowaries. The genetic gap isn't impossible to bridge, yet birds guard their secrets more jealously than mammals. The techniques that birthed Dolly the sheep won't work here. Scientists race to crack avian resurrection, using cutting-edge approaches that inject genomes into embryonic cells destined to become eggs and sperm. The colossal birds may yet rule New Zealand's skies again. Chapter 5. The Real Unicorn. The Siberian unicorn. Forget fairy tales. Real unicorns walked this earth, and they were nothing like the myths. 4 tons of muscle and fury. A single horn potentially reaching 3 feet in length. The Siberian unicorn was nature's battle tank, roaming Eurasian grasslands alongside early humans. For decades, we thought they vanished 100,000 years ago. Then, 2018 delivered a shocking truth. These giants survived until just 36,000 years ago. They witnessed the rise of modern humanity, but humans didn't kill them. The Siberian unicorn's obsession with one food source, tough, dry grasses, became their doom. As climate shifted and other herbivores adapted, these giants stubbornly grazed themselves to extinction. DNA analysis reveals an even more startling truth. Siberian unicorns weren't rhinos at all, but a completely unique lineage that split from modern rhinos over 40 million years ago. Today's rhinos face similar threats: habitat loss, climate change, dietary specialization. The Siberian unicorn's resurrection could provide the roadmap to save their distant cousins. If perfectly preserved specimens emerge from Siberian ice, science might resurrect these genuine unicorns. Reality, it turns out, was more magnificent than any fairy tale. Chapter 6. The Sky Darkeners. The Passenger Pigeon. 5 billion birds. Flocks so vast they darkened entire skies for hours. Their droppings shaped forests. Their movements sculpted ecosystems across North America. Then 1900 arrived, and with it, silence. These weren't ordinary pigeons. Passenger pigeons were ecological architects, their massive flocks creating natural disturbances that maintained forest health. White oaks depended on them for seed dispersal. When they vanished, entire forest ecosystems collapsed. The final flock, 250,000 birds, fell in a single day in 1896. Every single one, shot by human hands. Now ecologist Ben Novak races against time, using band-tailed pigeons as genetic hosts. The genomes are 97% identical, but that remaining 3% represents millions of years of evolution. Novak's bold prediction: first-generation passenger pigeons by 2025. Imagine skies once again darkened by billions of wings, forests restored to their ancient glory. The sky darkeners may yet return to heal the wounds their absence created. Chapter 7. The Saber's Edge. The saber-toothed tiger. 11-inch canine teeth. 600 pounds of pure predatory perfection. The saber-toothed tiger wasn't just a hunter. It was death incarnate, stalking Ice Age America with surgical precision. These weren't tigers at all, but something far more ancient and terrifying. Their closest living relative? The clouded leopard, the only modern carnivore with skull features approaching saber-tooth proportions. 10,000 years ago, as humans mastered projectile weapons, These apex predators mysteriously vanished. Coincidence? Hardly. The question isn't whether we can resurrect them, it's whether we should. De-extinction walks a moral tightrope. Reviving species for zoo exhibitions would be unconscionable. But if saber-tooths could restore ecological balance, frozen specimens in Siberian permafrost might hold the keys. The same icy tombs that preserve mammoth DNA could resurrect these ultimate predators. But ask yourself, is our world ready for the return of nightmares? We stand at the threshold of godlike power, the ability to undo extinction itself, to resurrect the dead and restore shattered ecosystems. Science fiction is becoming science fact. CRISPR rewrites the rules of life. Ancient DNA whispers secrets from beyond the grave. Synthetic wombs prepare to birth creatures that haven't breathed for millennia. The question isn't if these resurrections will happen, it's when. And more importantly, should they? Each species we've explored today represents both tremendous possibility and profound responsibility. The power to resurrect comes with the burden of playing God. But perhaps, just perhaps, that's exactly what our dying planet needs. The age of resurrection has begun. The only question remaining is, which extinct giant will be first to walk among us again? What do you think? Should we resurrect these lost species, or let sleeping giants lie? The future of de-extinction lies in our hands.